Welcome to the Dr. April Jasper Show, relevant conversations for business owners of today. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We appreciate being a part of your life and being invited into your day. It is such a joy to be able to help our colleagues to bring value to their patients and to help you strengthen and grow your business. Join us at optometricmanagementeducation.com, where you can learn more about all of the other services we provide. We have a subscription service that you can be a part of, where you can learn and teach your team from the courses that we've recorded on all of the topics that are relevant to your success. We also have consulting services. And right now, if you give us a call, schedule a call with me, I'll be happy to talk to you about what we can do to help you grow your business one-on-one. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today with Dr. Stacie Virden. She's a good friend of mine. We met several years ago. We actually can't even remember the first time we met, but I've always been impressed by her dedication to her patients, her eagerness to try new technology and find how it works in the practice. So Stacie, welcome.
Hi, nice. Thanks for having me.
All right. So Stacie's practice is pretty amazing. And one of the things I think I love the most about your practice, Stacie, is that you have a mascot. So why don't you tell everybody about your practice, where you're located, and then go ahead and tell them about your mascot.
Mascot. All righty. Well, we're in Waco, Texas. That is halfway between Dallas and Austin. If you're not familiar with Texas geography, we're about 90 minutes from each. And we've kind of been in just this kind of no man's land for a while. And usually Waco was famous here and there for things not so great. But I think now everybody kind of knows we're here at this point. Our mascot, that's too funny. Our practice is 22 years old now. When we moved to Waco, I remember I was young. I wanted to be taken totally seriously. Everything was going to be very professional. I mean, I remember wearing suits and heels and skirts to work every day, trying to look older than I was. And what we've realized over the last couple decades, things have kind of gotten a little different. Everything's a little bit more casual, a little bit more relaxed. And with more people moving to Waco from Austin, it's kind of been easier to bring that vibe in. So we did a renovation in 2018 and 2019. We totally moved out of our space in our office condo. We moved across the parking lot to another building. And while we were over there, we had put up yard signs to direct people across the office park to find us. And we knew the front needed to be arrows and directions, but we didn't quite know what to do with the back. And we had sponsored an adoption event probably 6-8 months before this. And I still had the sketches of my dog that they had used on some of the event t-shirts. I thought, well, let's just throw Mollie on the back of the signs because that'll be easy enough. And then we realized the staff was saying, it just makes me smile when I drive out past her going home every day. And then when it came time to move back in and redo all of our signage, we decided let's just rip off the Band-Aid and do it and just do something fun. So that's how it happened. Just taking ourselves a little less seriously, but having fun and doing a good job at the same time. So
that's and Mollie, now Mollie's a part of the practice, right?
She is. She's 6 years old, and we've had her 4.5 years now. So she was an adopted one as well.
Wow. She's not your only dog, though, right?
No, we have 3 others. We have a 13-year-old German Shepherd that is like the Energizer Bunny. She won't give up. We have a Great Pyrenees German Shepherd mix who's about 4 that's been her best buddy. And we just, in the last couple of weeks, ended up with a Great Pyrenees purebred puppy. But he's got some health problems, so he's going to be our special needs fellas.
It sounds like they're trying to get on the show. I love it.
That is Mollie. She has heard her name. Yes.
And she heard her name. We shouldn't have said it. I love it. I think that's so good though, Stacie, because it helps patients to really feel like they're part of the practice. It helps them to relate to us. And you sort of said it at the very beginning. I was the same way. I started out thinking I had to be super professional. Nobody wanted to know about me, my family. That should all be in a different segment of my life. And I realized that's absolutely not the case. And so it took me way too long. Sometimes I tell people I wish I knew 25 years ago some of the things I know today. So I'm going to put Stacie on the spot, y'all, and I'm going to ask her. So give me 1 or 2 things that you think about and know today. You already told us one that you didn't know when you first got into practice. that you think other people should really be thinking about as they are seeing patients and trying to build a business?
It's exactly what you just said. I really thought it didn't matter what I did personally. I thought my credentials and the things that I could bring to patients, I thought that was the most important thing. But what we have found over the years is you have to build a connection first. So, whatever that connection may be, whether it's your kids go to school together or play on a team together, or somebody sees the dog and they've adopted a dog, that's kind of what does it. And we realized pretty quickly in print ads, if we put out a product, we never heard anything about it. If it had a dog or a kid in it, people talked about it. So that's where we headed.
Wow, I love it.
If you suffer from dry, scratchy, irritated eyes, the problem may actually stem from your eyelids. Cleansing eyelids daily is essential for maintaining healthy eyes, which is why doctors recommend OcuSoft Lid Scrub Allergy Eyelid Cleanser. New OcuSoft Lid Scrub Allergy removes oil, pollen, and other contaminants from your eyelids to effectively reduce redness, irritation, and itching caused by seasonal allergies. These pre-moistened wipes are easy to use, on the go, or at home. Simply wipe and leave on. As the industry standard of care, OcuSoft has a full line of eyelid cleansers for various conditions. Available through eye care professionals, most retail outlets, and Amazon.com. Visit OcuSoft.com for more details.
So over the years, tell me some of the things that you have done to grow your business. And I'm assuming it's grown since the day you started.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we have not had a negative year, even in the '08 recession and even through the COVID year. We had growth every single year, which is really awesome. That's
And what
not
did you,
something.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
That's not something a lot of businesses can say. So we're really proud of that. We have always had positive growth.
And remind us again, so 2018 is when you did the renovation. So you were working in one building and building another one across the way.
So we have an office park with 5 buildings. We had bought one suite in 2006, and within 3 years, we outgrew it. The suites on either side of us were occupied, so we just had to wait, figure out what we wanted to do, and we liked our location. So we waited for one of the neighbors to move out. The owner of that office condo wouldn't sell it to us, so we rented it for a while and literally cut a hole in the wall to get back and forth and just used it for back office space and kitchen, me and insurance and all those things back there. And then finally, they sold it to us in 2015. So that's when we started the plans to gut it, tie everything together. So we were practicing out of 1,900 square feet to begin with. We added another 1,600. And when we were doing all of that, we moved into 1,050 square feet across the parking lot. And what's wild is we had our 2 biggest months to date in that 1,050 square feet. So it's
Wow.
amazing what you can do.
Yes. Yeah, that's great encouragement for people who just can't get more space.
Mm-hmm.
To know that you can make it happen. What did you do? How do you make it happen? What would you tell somebody who just can't expand because of their location?
Visit lots of practices. Being a speaker and touring a lot of offices with some of my corporate work, I had seen everything from complete wastes of space, 6, 8, 10,000 square feet buildings that were just looked like storage closets for most of the space. They didn't even need it, to other offices that were just killing it just with efficiency. And so we just made sure we laid it out as efficiently as possible, and it worked.
So tell us about technology. You sort of mentioned it earlier, and you can start back at the beginning. You can start in the last 2 years, but what would you say is has really been impactful in your practice as far as technology that you brought into the business?
Yeah, I have a really bad habit of buying things before I can really afford them. But I look at it as marketing too. I remember the first year that we had OptiMap, it was before you could actually buy the instrument. It was on a pay-per-click basis.
Yeah.
And I was having to pay extra to cover the scans that I didn't use that month. But we were at least breaking even, and it was great marketing. So I tend to jump in with both feet, probably a little too quick, but it's working.
What gets you excited about technology? Like when you see something and you just say, I have to have it, what really happens in your mind and your heart?
it's when it's going to make a difference for a patient. With Optimap, within the first year I had it, I found 2 melanomas that I would have missed otherwise. The retinal specialist couldn't even find them when I sent them to them. I'm like, do an angio. It's there. I promise. Go look for it. And sure enough, it was. And they had told us that at Opto's training. They said, you're going to find things that the retinal specialist can't see yet. So just be adamant, keep pushing for your patient. Same thing lately with the Adapt DX. We brought it in several years ago, and I'm really glad to see they've gotten picked up, and that technology is going to keep going because we've spotted patients that we would not have done an OCT on previously that did have early drusen, and we've been able to make things better. We've actually made drusen go away. So it's fantastic. It's just really awesome to make good changes for patients.
Absolutely. And I looked at your website. By the way, it's beautiful. Where was that mural? I saw a big mural.
Yes, you did. So I have driven by that mural every day for the last 8 years. It is on the way to my son's school downtown. We've got a lot of murals here and there. And about a year ago, my associate doctor and I and our dogs, we went out and we did a photo shoot and just took pictures in front of lots of local landmarks. But that mural is obviously our favorite. So it's the one that's kind of become the centerpiece of everything.
It's beautiful. You guys have got to go see that on her website. But that brought me, I'm sorry, I get distracted fast. So as I was browsing your website, I also looked at the other technologies you have in the practice, and you were advertising or talking about, it's advertising. Everything on our website is advertising, but you talk about what you do for patients that are having headaches and neck strain. Talk to us a little bit about that technology.
So we're always looking for the next thing to bring in. What can I buy too soon? And we had been eyeing NeuroLens as soon as we knew they were out there. It just intrigued me. It was something completely different. But innovation had to happen first, so we'd have room. We just didn't have space for another piece of equipment. Then COVID happened, and we decided not to put in anything in that year. So we paused then. And then in February of 21, almost 2 years ago to the date, in the big Texas freeze, our office flooded. So we went back to almost square one in half of our building. Fortunately, we're split level, so only the bottom half flooded, which was optical and back office. So we moved everything back into 1,900 square feet, crammed everybody in, and proceeded to make a go of it until the repairs were done 6 months later. So we did a renovation, and then we repaired the renovation all in under 2 years. So now we're getting our feet back under us. And last year we brought in NeuroLens because, like I said, I've been watching it for some time. It seemed like it was going to be a really good fit. And honestly, we've got so many patients that are non-adapts to progressives, and progressives are really good these days. But it's like, why is this not working for some people? So that was kind of my first thought. And sure enough, we had really good success there. But once you really start digging into the other systemic things that can play into eye strain and all the symptoms that go along with it, it's pretty shocking. So it's been a great addition.
We are excited to have Cooper Vision as a sponsor of our podcast. Cooper Vision is one of the world's leading contact lens manufacturers, and they serve eye care professionals and patients in over 130 countries. Their innovative products help millions of patients see every single day. One of the technologies and innovations that we love the most about Cooper Vision is their groundbreaking technology in soft contact lenses that helps to slow the progression of myopia in children 8 to 12 years old at the initiation of treatment. So tell me about a patient that has had a life-changing experience. Do you have any of those?
Yes, we have several, but the two, I have a fun patient and I have a serious patient. I'll do serious first.
Okay.
I have a patient who is a CPA and she has MS. And she is doing everything she can to fight going on disability. She is trying to keep working, trying to maintain life as usual. We had done some prism glasses. We had done single vision for distance, for computer, for near. We had gone back to flat tops because she couldn't converge into where her progressive corridor was. Yeah. And as soon as we got these, she was one of the first patients I called. I said, come in, let me measure you. Let's see what we can do. And right now she is going on a year in both a progressive and a computer design. and she is still working. So we're maintaining her standard of life, quality of life.
That's right. You're providing value to her, doing what she asked you to do when she came into your practice. That's amazing.
Yeah, and her old glasses weren't doing it. I'm getting chills talking about her.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
But it is
So,
great to see that kind of difference.
what about your other patient?
The other patient's actually me. I have been motion sick and had migraines ever since I was a kiddo, and I never thought that much about it. But I love the water, I love the ocean, I love boats, and usually to get on a boat, I was taking a cocktail of, it was always Finnegan, Benadryl, and then Sudafed to keep me awake. I was a cheap date anytime I got on a boat. But I remember 6, 7 years ago, we did a 10-day sailing trip on a 100-foot boat from Grenada up through the Grenadines. And I remember, I had a timer going off every 6 hours to take my pills so that I could do it. And I had a blast. I'd do it again. But fast forward to last summer, once I got my neuro lenses and I did everything, prescription sunglasses, regular sunglasses, sunglasses for over my contacts, just to see, okay, how's this all going to work? I was going to be my own worst patient. And I've now had 4 trips out on open water with no drugs. So it just has done something with eyes to vestibular to just calm it all down. And it's made a world of difference. Yeah. It's made vacations a lot more enjoyable. I thought I was having fun before.
There'll be a lot more boating in your future, right?
There is. We are starting to look at another long trip again. So
that's great.
I'm ready. But it's amazing. We talk about quality of life and, we're on a computer all day, every day. But when you can translate that back into day-to-day life, I have a friend that I didn't know she could not ride in the passenger seat of a car. She always has to drive. Anytime she and her husband go anywhere, she's the one driving. And she's like, now I may not have to drive. So she's had them about a month now. So we're waiting on her final results. But I haven't heard from her, and I'm assuming it's good.
Oh, that's great. Well, what I didn't realize about you, Stacie, is how many challenges you've had along the way, because every time I see you, I think everything must be perfect because you're always so cheerful and happy and positive. So let's end on that note. I want you to think about all those challenges that you've had. How have you been able to walk into the office and see that you've been flooded and just what do you do? How do you deal with it? And how would you encourage other people that are dealing with things like that as well?
A good friend of mine asked me, how have you kept going through all this? Because we lost my mom to COVID in the middle of everything well. And I said, I don't have a choice. I said, if you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, I owe the bank a lot of money. I can't just walk away. So you got that, but then you've also got to look at, we've got 14 staff. So I've got 14 other families depending on us to get up every day and go to work and make it work. So it's really just that, it's what happened. You can't change it. So if you can't adjust the wind, you adjust your sails. So we just keep adjusting our sails.
That's right. And I think what I sense from you, and I see it in you, is that you look at your day as a way to change other people's lives. And when you focus on other people as much as you do and try not to look inside at all the challenge, it sure makes it easier. But that's what I see about you. I love that about you. And what an example you are to your associate doctor, to all your team, and to everyone listening. Thank you, Stacie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.